Good afternoon, all of you. So my profile and my first slide shows you that I am a practicing teacher, more than not a counselor at all. But in the process of doing my work, and I have taken the responsibility of counseling. But I am a practicing teacher, and I do experiments in the classroom. In that process, I also touch the area of counseling. I am not a regular counselor. I work in the rural India, that is particularly a village school. So my context is entirely different, and what the problems that the counselors and the educational psychologists addressed. So it's a rural India. The technologies availability is low. Then there is no competition, no pressure, and other things are not there. But the problem is that they are the neglected. They are not taking care. They are labeled. So this is the problem that I addressed during my project. And one other thing is I want to share that. So everyone, the educational counselor and the classroom teacher, administrators, principals, teacher trainers, all are working for the one cause. What is that? Child learning, betterment, making responsible citizens. But we are shooting the arrows in a different directions. You critically review what happened in the first session, yesterday, and these sessions, everything. So we are coming in a different ways, but our target is that. So the labeling was different. We are using different vocabulary. But the thing is that the same thing is happening there. But counselors are doing the same thing, teachers are doing the same thing, administrators are doing the same things, and the teachers. Only thing is that our way of perceive the things is different. Yes. So this is a general definition of American school counselors. So here I understand that the three aspects: educational philosophy, counseling methodology, and the developmental psychology. So these are the key words. So there are three types. So my focus is on the first part, that is an academic success, and the second one is the career and vocational guidance. Third one is the personal and the social development. These two talked about much about those things. So what I did. So my is academic success. So my students, there are English medium is a growing thing in the country. So I work in the school. There are both media, regional medium and English medium. So most of the students are opting the English medium. Only the small amount of the students are opting the regional medium. So they are completely neglected and they are labeled that they are not able to learn. They are not good at. They don't have a confidence. Almost they are neglected. It's a very small class. I have taken 13 students in that. So these 13 students are completely labeled and neglected, and they are not able to read English well. So this is the problem that I have taken, and I try to address that. Why can't they learn? So is it not possible to make them to learn and to join them in the mainstreaming? So just like to build a confidence among them. So for that reason I did this experiment. So some students in my class are not able to read the text. So how to support these struggling readers? This is the problem that I have identified. So for that I have taken data collection. So I want to consider what do the other teachers think about the same problem, and what do the students think about their own problem. So these are the two areas, the data I have collected, and I prepared some questionnaires like that, some interviews and personal talk. So that from that data, and I developed some strategies and I implemented in my class. So the first one is the teacher survey. That is the survey link. I am not going to show you that, but these are the questions. So what do you think about this problem is the struggling readers? What are the things? How to help them? How to improve them? How to build their confidence? And what are the pressing problems do you face while handling these struggling readers? So these are the main questions. I posted on the Padlet and I shared it through social media. So some teachers responded, and I collected that data and analyzed, and based on that I created some strategies. So these are some answers that they have given. Students don't have a reading material other than the textbooks to expose to the reading, because they're rural India. They have only the textbooks and the other content is not available with them. This is the one opinion expressed by the teachers. They were not properly motivated to learn English particularly, And the 45 time is not sufficient to address the individual needs, because teacher has only 45 minutes of time in the classroom. He don't have much time to pay the attention individually. This is the one opinion. And the students don't know how to pronounce words. The words that are in the textbook are much difficult and they are above their standards. So lack of exposure to the reading material. So no purpose for reading. The students are reading, but there is no purpose. This is the one teacher expressed. And they are not being engaged meaningfully. So the activities that we are taken up in the classroom are not at all included the meaning. So they are doing things mechanically. So that is the one reason. And teacher is busy in completing syllabus. So teacher is much focused on completing his syllabus. He is not focusing on how much the children are learning and how much they are engaged in that. And lack of ample opportunities for the reading. Textbook has too many unknown words and the topic selected is unfamiliar to them. So these are the views expressed by the teachers. And after collecting this data, and I talked to the students also. Because students, they don't speak English. So I asked them to write their answers in Telugu. So these are the questions. When do you learn better? How do you learn better? List the 2 reasons for not able to read the text. And what might be the main reason for not able to read the text on your own? How can we overcome that problem? So these are the questions that I asked in their regional, that is Telugu. I work in Telangana. So these are the answers they have written. So then I translated into English. So teachers didn't encourage us to did not study in English medium. Most of them are expressed this opinion because they are in the regional medium. So they have a feeling that I didn't learn English because I am not studying in English medium. Because I am Telugu medium student, I don't learn English. That is the opinion. And they didn't understand English, didn't try from our childhood, and did not try at home. And I didn't read during the leisure time, and I didn't follow the sir's instructions. So these are the opinions of students. So after gathering this data, so based on these inputs from the teacher and from the students, then I thought of other alternative strategies. Not going for the regular classroom teaching. So I thought of some other strategies and I designed and I implemented them. So here I converted myself from the teacher to an academic counselor. So most of my activities related to the academic only. So this one is I adopted as a peer tutoring. So one teacher expressed that the time is not enough, 45 minutes. So what I asked the students, so they will sit together. So one will read the text and other will follow. So then they will change alternatively. So it's a pair work. So if there are 40 students, there are 20 pairs. They will sit together. So one will read the text aloud and other will follow. And after that, this student will read and other will follow. So the time is saved by this. So this is the activity that I tried. They are also helping each other. And there are some words that they cannot read. They underline it. And they make a list of those words. And they try to read it. If not possible, they will come to the teacher. So they are doing the things on their own. When it is not possible, then they come to the teacher. And they are reading together. At the last stage, they will come to the teacher. And they are involved. That is main purpose of this activity. They are doing, they are reading. Suppose you ask the 30 students to read the text, we don't know how many of them are reading or not. But this activity makes the children definitely to read the text. So some of the teachers express that there is no motivation, lack of motivation. So motivate them, I integrated the technology also. So I have taken the stories with the subtitles, a simple Indian stories with the subtitles. So that is the channel Book Box Stories. So if you click that link, you will find a lot of Indian stories in simple sentences in the subtitles. So I have chosen those stories and we have only one projector classroom. So I integrated technology using these stories with the subtitles, and they have to listen, they have to read the titles on the screen, and sometimes I take the pause also and ask them to interact. What are the characters in that, like that. So I converted that video into a lesson form. And read, listen and write, and read and write. Sometimes I stop the video and ask them to write the text on the screen. Sometimes I mute them and read the text without listening. So these are the activities that I performed using technology. And it's a comprehensible input. Why it is a comprehensible? Because meaning is the main area. some of the teachers express that the lack of meaning, lack of purpose in that. So how it is a comprehensible means the stories are animated, there are characters are speaking, and the three forms are available, listening, reading is also there. And most of the stories are suitable to an Indian context. They are Indian stories and the characters in the story are also suitable to our local context. And the storybooks. So I used the storybooks from the library, and after learning the story from the screen, and I have distributed these books and asked them to read again, one after the other. And here I did one thing, that is a mid-technology strategy. I used my mobile phone to record their reading aloud. I gave mobile them, you just start reading. Suppose you don't read 1 or 2 words, leave it. Don't bother about that. But to start the reading, stop when you end of the story only. So this is how I recorded the audio files. So I put it everything in the e-portfolios, Google Drive. So this is an evidence that they did the work and how they read at the beginning and how they progressed. So this I did it and collected the evidence also and engaged them. And also another one is the picturizing. So comprehension and the meaning is the foremost important aspect of the learning. Without that, the child cannot learn. So to make him to comprehend the given stories, I asked them to visualize using this drawing. So they have to pick the characters in the story, they have to draw the characters and draw the speak bubbles of those stories. So they involve and they completely understand the story. It's a comprehensive process. And another important aspect is that the students, those who are not good at reading, but some of them are good at drawing. So they draw the animals and the diagrams very well and they are engaged. So every day they are coming to me, sir, did this work, we have finished this, we have finished this. So they always ask me to come to our class. Whenever they find the time, immediately they run to us. So this is the change of their attitude. So this is another activity, running dictation. So we ask the students to pay. One is the reader and another one is the writer. So reader will be here and the writer will be there. He will read the text and run to there and dictate and again come back to the text and read again and he will go there. So this is a kind of activity, running dictation. They will involve completely. It is also a fun activity and the going out of the classroom, not within the 4 walls. You can go out of the classroom and ask the students to stand there and run here and there. It's a total physical response activity also to avoid the monotony in the classroom.
What's the standard population in our section?
It's 13, 13. I already told you it's a limited. It's a limit.
We are having 65, 70 students.
Even that also you can do that because you have to go out of the classroom.
It will be a standard.
No.
Initially I have taken 2 classes, then I understand that it is not possible. Then I taken 1 class and I will try the other class next.
In all 65 reading issue won't be there with all the no?
Problem is with the reading problem.
Children who are with the
Struggling
issue.
readers. Those who are struggling, you can do.
You pick them only.
So learning is transferable. Whatever they learn through on-screen reading and after reading stories, so that they can apply while reading their textbook, class textbook also. So children transfer their learning. So these are the links of audio files. I put it everything on the Google Drive. So if you click that, they open up and I shared it with the teachers also during a teacher training and I published it as a paper in the RI Bangalore's journal also.
Please share with us.
Sure. So what I learned after doing all these things. So there is no shortcut for the learning, it is a continuous process. And reading is a complex process, it involves the continuous efforts from the teacher and as well as from the students. We cannot visualize when and how the children learn. So this is the problem with the teacher. He teaches today and he will expects the results within evening or by tomorrow. Learning is, can't visualize learning. Can we imagine when do we learn the reading? We don't know whether it is 5th class, 4th class or 3rd class. But the teacher always want to teach something and ask what happened. Did you learn? So this is the problem. So you can't visualize when it happens, but do your efforts continuously, encourage the students to participate in the activities. That's it. No one will give you the solution to your own class problem. Always the teacher wants somebody to address his problem. It is not possible. Your context is different. Your students are different. Your teaching strategies are different. You have to struggle. You have to find out the solution to your own. Nobody will give you the ready-made solution to you. Even they give you also, it is not going to work. Try until you find your own solution. And the sharing and networking leads to a continuous professional development. Don't teach about the language, teach the language. Generally we teach about the language, so that is not going to work. Teach them language, how to use it. And teaching is a profession and not a job. You have to learn continuously. You have to grow yourselves. That's the part of your job, your profession. Don't provide information, give them the real use of experience. So the teacher have an habit of giving information because he knows everything you want to give them. But that is not helpful. Let us give them a kind of real experience so that they can remember for a longer time. And doing mistakes is also kind of learning. Let us encourage them to do the mistakes. Without doing mistakes, no one can learn anything. So that is the main principle that we need to understand. Then almost all our problems will be solved. Because most of the teachers never allow the students to do the mistakes. Even they never allow the students to read the questions given at the end. He himself reads, he will comprehend and he will give the answer. That's the big issue. So the second part, and career and the vocational guidance. For that I created a school Facebook page. So it's a part of a meeting place for even the students, those who have already gone out of the school and the present system, and the parents. So they will work together and we share our success stories on the Facebook. And sometimes we share the after what to do after class 10 also. So the most of the students follow that. There are 700 followers for our school Facebook page. So for this personal and the social, and this is the reflective questions. Generally we used to ask the students and think, pair and the share activity like that. For the conflict resolution, if you are having a hard time with someone, are you comfortable with asking for help? Do you think it's okay to ask for help if you don't understand something? Why it is good to ask for help? When you are fighting or arguing with someone, what are the 3 things you can do? Take a break from the situation and try to resolve it. So if you start reflecting on these questions, and they will go on learning how to solve these kind of problems. Adaptability, why it is important to willing to change your way of doing things when you are in a new or a definite situation. Is also a reflective questions, ask them to. But frankly speaking, I didn't get the good results from this because the students are not up to the mark to think reflectively and to respond to my questions. But in course of time, I may get a good results. The cooperation, how do you feel when you don't get your way? Are you good to figuring out the way to compromise when the situation or the problem arises? Do you like finding a win-win solution, or do you prefer always be a right? What is difficult to work with others, and when it is easy to work with others, and what do you do when it is difficult? Okay, this is connecting. Get connected with others. So these are my contact details, Facebook ID and blog and Moodle site. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Vinay, for a very insightful presentation. So we have